Can a wild lion ask a human for help? Marcus Webb would have laughed at the question, until dawn broke on a Tuesday morning, and a frantic male lion appeared at his fence line, doing something no wild animal should ever do, begging. Before we begin, comment, like, share, subscribe and turn on notification, so when we drop new videos, you will be the first person to see it. The sun hadn't yet broken the horizon when Ranger Marcus Webb heard it, a roar that didn't belong to the dawn chorus. Not the deep, resonant bellow of a lion claiming territory. This was different. Urgent. Desperate. He stepped onto the wooden porch of the ranger station, coffee steaming in his hand, and squinted toward the fence line. Through the pale morning mist, a massive silhouette materialized. A male lion, his dark mane wild against the lightning sky, paced frantically along the perimeter. Back and forth. Back and forth. Marcus had worked this reserve for 12 years. He'd seen lions hunt, fight, mate, and die. But he'd never seen one do this. The lion stopped, locked eyes with him across 50 meters of bush, and released another roar, raw, almost pleading. Then he bolted toward the acacia trees, disappearing into shadow. Marcus exhaled, shook his head. Territorial dispute, probably. Some young male challenging boundaries. But 30 seconds later, the lion was back. Same spot. Same desperate energy. He roared again, the sound vibrating through Marcus's chest, then ran toward the trees. Stopped. Looked back. Waited. What the hell? Marcus muttered. His partner, Sarah, emerged from the station. That lion's been doing this for 20 minutes. I thought he'd give up. Lions don't do this, Marcus said, setting down his coffee. The animal returned a third time, and now Marcus could see the desperation in his body language, the lowered head, the agitated tail, the way he kept checking over his shoulder as if time was running out. The pattern repeated. Again. Again. Each return more frantic than the last. He's trying to tell us something, Sarah whispered. Marcus felt it too, that primal instinct that transcends species. This wasn't aggression. This was a cry for help. The lion appeared one more time, but now he didn't approach the fence. He stood at the tree line, motionless except for his heaving sides. Watching. Waiting. His amber eyes burned with an intensity that made Marcus's pulse quicken. Get the truck, Marcus said quietly. Something's wrong out there. Sarah was already moving. The lion turned and vanished into the bush, and somehow Marcus knew, if they didn't follow him now, something precious would be lost forever. The Land Rover growled to life, its engine cutting through the tense morning air. Marcus gripped the wheel while Sarah loaded the emergency kit, tranquilizer rifle, snake poles, medical supplies. Neither spoke. They both knew they were crossing into something unprecedented. The male lion waited at the tree line, statue still. The moment the vehicle rolled forward, he moved. He's leading us, Sarah breathed, disbelief threading through her voice. The lion maintained a steady pace 50 meters ahead, his golden body weaving through the tall grass. Every 30 seconds, like clockwork, he'd stop and turn, checking. Those amber eyes would find the vehicle, hold for a heartbeat, then he'd continue. Marcus's knuckles whitened on the steering wheel. In 12 years, Sarah, I know. They pushed deeper into the reserve, far beyond the tourist routes. Acacia thorns scraped against the vehicle's sides. The lion navigated effortlessly through terrain that forced Marcus to slow, to maneuver carefully around termite mounds and hidden ditches. Each time they lagged, he stopped. Waited. His massive head swiveling back, urgency radiating from every fiber. Faster, Sarah urged, though Marcus was already pushing their limits. The sun climbed higher, painting the savannah in harsh gold. Sweat trickled down Marcus's temple. The lion had led them nearly 4 kilometers now, deeper, always deeper. Away from the pride's usual territory. Away from water sources. Away from everything that made sense. What if we're wrong? Marcus asked. What if he's just? The lion stopped abruptly. His entire body went rigid. Marcus hit the brakes. Dust billowed around them. The lion didn't turn around this time. He stood frozen, staring at something beyond a thick cluster of fever trees, his sides heaving. A low, guttural sound emerged from his throat, not a roar. Something worse. Something primal and afraid. Sarah's hand found the rifle. Marcus, I see it. Through the branches, movement. Something massive coiled in the shadows. And beneath it, barely visible through the grass, a tawny form lying too still. The lion finally looked back one last time. In that gaze, Marcus saw something that defied everything he'd learned about wild animals. Please. He killed the engine. The silence that followed was suffocating. Whatever's in there, Sarah whispered, chambering a tranquilizer dart, we're about to find out why he came for us. Marcus stepped from the vehicle, his boots crunching on dry earth. The male lion moved aside, creating a path, an invitation wrapped in desperation. What Marcus saw next stopped his heart. Coiled in the clearing center, a python, easily 6 meters of pure muscle, had wrapped itself around a lioness. The snake's body spiraled around her torso in thick, suffocating bands. Her swollen belly pressed grotesquely against the constricting coils. Pregnant. She was heavily pregnant. Oh God, Sarah whispered behind him. The lioness's eyes were half closed, her tongue lolling. Each breath came as a shallow, rattling gasp. Her ribcage barely expanded against the python's relentless grip. Minutes, Marcus realized. She had minutes, maybe less. The male lion circled them, a portrait of anguish. He'd lunge forward, then retreat, instinct warring with intelligence. Attack the python's body, get coiled himself. Go for the head, risk his mate being crushed in the snake's death throes. He was trapped in an impossible equation. The python sensed the new presence. Its massive head swiveled toward the rangers, tongue flicking, tasting their fear. Its coils tightened incrementally, a warning, a promise. The lioness convulsed. A weak, pitiful sound escaped her throat. The male lion's roar shattered the morning, raw grief and fury condensed into sound. He looked at Marcus with eyes that transcended species, hierarchy, the ancient divide between man and beast. Save her. Sarah, the poles. Now. Marcus's voice was steel over trembling hands. She was already moving, pulling equipment from the rover. The python shifted, its coils compressing further. Bone creaked audibly. The lioness's breathing stopped. Started again, barely. We've got one shot at this, Marcus said, advancing toward the coiled nightmare. And we're out of time. Marcus drove the snake pole beneath the python's lowest coil, leverage against death itself. Sarah mirrored him on the opposite side, her pole finding purchase near the massive head. On 3, Marcus commanded. 1, 2, 3. They pried upward. The python exploded into motion. Its head whipped toward Sarah with terrifying speed. She stumbled backward as fangs flashed inches from her face. The coils constricted violently. The lioness released a strangled cry that barely qualified as sound. Again. Don't let it reset. Marcus roared. The male lion surged forward, then forced himself back, every muscle trembling with restraint. He understood. Interfere now, and they'd all die. Sarah repositioned, hands shaking but steady. They pried again. One coil loosened, slipped upward. The python thrashed, its tail whipping through the dust. 6 meters of pure rage fighting for its prey. Marcus wedged his pole deeper, using his full body weight. Sweat poured down his face. The second coil began to give. The lioness's breathing stopped. No! Sarah screamed. They attacked the coils with desperate fury, pulling, prying, peeling the nightmare away inch by terrible inch. The python struck at Marcus, glancing off his shoulder. Pain exploded, but he didn't let go. The third coil released. The fourth. Suddenly the python realized it was losing. It unwound itself in one violent motion and struck toward freedom. Marcus and Sarah dove aside as 6 meters of apex predator rocketed past them into the brush. The lioness lay motionless in the flattened grass. Then, a breath. Shallow. Rattling. But there. The male lion moved forward slowly, as if afraid she might shatter. He lowered his great head beside hers and released a sound Marcus would hear for the rest of his life, not a roar, but something softer. Something heartbreakingly tender. Come back. Air flooded back into the lioness's lungs, ragged, desperate gulps that shook her entire frame. Her eyes flickered open, unfocused, searching. The male lion pressed his muzzle against her neck, a low rumble vibrating through his chest. Not dominance. Comfort. Marcus and Sarah backed away slowly, giving them space. The intimacy of the moment felt sacred, something humans weren't meant to witness. The lioness tried to rise. Failed. Her legs trembled uselessly beneath her swollen body. The male positioned himself beside her, letting her lean against his bulk. Together, they breathed. In. Out. Synchronized. Minutes passed. The sun climbed higher. Slowly, painfully, the lioness found her feet. She swayed, but held. The male stayed pressed against her flank, anchor and guardian. Then he turned. His amber eyes found Marcus across the clearing. For 3 heartbeats, they simply looked at each other, ranger and lion, human and wild, 2 beings separated by everything except this singular moment of understanding. The male lion dipped his head. Once. Deliberate. Marcus felt his throat tighten. "You're welcome," he whispered. The lion turned back to his mate, gently guiding her toward the tree line. She moved slowly, each step a victory. He matched her pace, never more than inches away, until the shadows swallowed them both. Sarah exhaled shakily beside Marcus. "Did that just?" "Yeah." Marcus wiped his eyes roughly. "Yeah, it did." They stood in the empty clearing, adrenaline draining away, replaced by something profound. The flattened grass where the lioness had nearly died. The disturbed earth where a choice was made, to trust the impossible. 12 years, Marcus said quietly, and I thought I understood these animals. Sarah smiled through tears. Maybe he understood us. In the distance, a roar echoed. Strong. Vital. Alive. A promise kept.